You know what this is. This is the Cold Steel 4MAX Scout. You can tell by reading the blade. I just wanted to show this off. You've seen this if you've watched some of my videos, or if you've caught the podcast or Thursday Night Knives. This has come out quite a bit. I've shown it off. It was a gift from the great and powerful Jimislash, and I'm ever so grateful. After we spoke on my show, I told him I had never experienced a 4MAX in any of its iterations, and he promptly dropped this in the mail to me. I think he stocks certain knives, the 4MAX being one of them, and when he meets someone who's in desperate need, he's like a missionary, and he sends it along. This thing is astounding. I've been using it quite a bit recently, just around the house. I don't carry it, I haven't carried it yet out to work or out in public, and not because it's big or anything like that, but because it's big, because it's heavy and a little bit bulky. But I think come wintertime, when I'm wearing thicker clothes, bigger, jeans or whatever, this will start to play more of a role. The Scout model is the high value model for the 4MAX, meaning the 4MAX came out and it was like a $400, $350 knife. Some were made in America, some were made in Italy, depending on the run you got. And sorry about this moving camera. And so kind of an out of reach knife. And that's kind of a rare thing for Cold Steel. They've always been pretty affordable, or have had a range of affordability and kept most things below $200. But this, the 4MAX went way beyond that. So it was very smart for them to do this, make a Scout version like they did with the SR1. So what's the difference between this and a high-end 4MAX? The main difference is the blade steel and the handle material. This handle material is grivory, whatever they call it. It's basically a fiberglass reinforced nylon, and they put some texturing on the side and contoured it. It might not win any beauty contests, but it works. It works. It feels great in hand. It keeps the knife, lightish, or at least the same weight as the other ones, because this kind of plastic is a little bit lighter than G10 or micarta. And then the blade steel. This is AUS 10A, AUS 10A. And again, knowing Cold Steel, they did an amazing job with AUS 8A. For years, that was their bread and butter. And those knives just, kept kicking and kept kicking. So AUS 10, which is presumably a step up. I really don't know any of the differences, though I've seen other people test it, and it's, a great steel, and Cold Steel does a great heat treat. So I have no doubt that this is also going to be something that is going to hold up, just like the AUS 8 did. And of course, now with the XHP and the S35VN and all of that, they're raising, they've raised the game, and they've been doing that with the budget steels too. This has a great sort of action to it, and I think a lot of it has to do with the weight of that blade. That is a big, thick blade. And then if you look at this, the backspacer, and the lock here in the backspacer, that's a 1/4 inch thick. The blade stock gets near that. So that's a heavy blade. Just a little bit of flick with your thumb and a little bit of wrist, and it flies out. And what happens when it does fly out? Well, you have in hand something that feels much bigger. It is a stout knife and a really incredible cutter. Not only cutting, like, doing cuts and cutting stuff, but also in chopping. This has been in my pocket the last few days as I've been doing some spring cleanup, slow as it's been coming. And we have tons of vines. You hear me talk about it every season. And the vines just, we've had a lot of sun and rain, so they're starting to take off. And I came across one, I don't know how, it was like a full-on stalk coming out, And I don't know how that one escaped my watchful eye last year, but I bent it to the ground and I took this and I barely chopped. I almost just let the full weight do it, and it went all, just went through. It was beautiful. It did take 2 swipes, but that was user error. I know that if I put a little juice behind it on the first swipe, it would have gone right through. And so that's kind of how I've been using this. Little saplings and vines. And it feels like having a much bigger knife in hand. I'll give you an example of a bigger knife. But it kind of, so you have a Recon 1 with an 1.5 inch longer blade, and a longer handle. So you can chop and leverage the length of that. But this knife is way lighter than the Formax Scout, and you can see it's much thinner. The blade stock is a little bit thinner, and even though it's longer and fully flat ground XHP, this is such an awesome blade. I don't want to get lost in it, but even though this is an incredible blade, the weight behind this and that very, very nice, almost full flat ground, very high saber grind flat ground blade comes to a pretty thin edge, even though it starts out pretty thick. For chores in the woods or chores in the backyard, I would pick this. I would pick this for chores in the back alley. You know what I mean? You see what I'm getting at? So you're asking, why did I put that colorful lanyard fob on it? And I did it to honor Jimislash. I don't know if you've noticed, but he is a big lanyard fan, and he has his own weave that he likes. That's pretty neat. But I like these little balls. So I put on nice cognitive dissonant, what is that? Rainbow, rainbow sort of paracord, did my little knots in there. That's my little tribute to Jimislash, but it also, it's great for helping you pull the knife out from your pocket. But really it's there for decoration because I just like it. And I want to remember that this was a gift from Jimislash, so this is sort of a tip of the hat to him. So let me show a couple of other size comparisons before I dip. Here it is with the obvious comparison, the AD10. The Formax is kind of the larger AD10. It's basically the same blade, just stretched out. And so Andrew Demko had to curve the handle a little bit to accommodate the upsweep of this blade and the size of it. Instead of keeping a straight handle like this and coming up with a bird's beak to hide the tip, he decided that would be too long. Well, that's what he told me anyway. That's what he told me anyway. In a conversation we had on the Knife Junkie podcast, he decided to make the handle curved so it wouldn't have to be longer and straighter and then have that sort of bird's beak. So there it is with the 8010. And then let me show it with here's the Recon 1 4-inch. This one is in AUS 8A, and it used to have the black coating, but it's basically like paint that you can scrape off. So I did that. I love the way it looks. It's got a beautiful, these old Recon 1s have beautiful stonewash blades under that cheesy paint they used to put on. Now they put on really good coating, but and I had to put that sharpening choil in, which I understand they are now doing. And then it has a snaggletooth tactical pull ring on it. This resides in my backpack, and that pull ring comes in super handy when drawing this from my backpack. Not drawing it like I draw it out, but you know what I mean, pulling it out. All right, and lastly, let me show it with another big knife. Kind of off the beaten path knife, but here it is with a Bastinelli Creations large Drago tack. Kind of a similar solution to hiding the point, though this is a worn clip, so the point is much closer to the handle anyway. But similar universes, same universe, different world, I guess, is what you might say about these. Yeah. Okay, I've said too much. That is my Formax Scout gifted to me by the great and powerful Jimislash. Thank you, Jimmy, so much. Look for a link in the description to his channel. You're already there anyway, I know. But just in case, you've been living in a cool, dark place. All right, take care.